Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those that are seeking the truth to expose the corruption to enrich and better your life, or just to be prepared and know what's going on. This is a Truth Exposer. Today is May 19th, 2015. Earlier today, I came across a news article that should raise some concern. The website I went to is called townhall.com, and here's a screenshot of, let me get it here, the video. Sorry, I don't have my equipment set up yet, but I will here shortly. But the video is called New Military Spending Bill Expands Empire. On Friday, the House passed a massive national defense authorization for 2016 that will guarantee U.S. involvement in more wars and overseas interventions for years to come. The Republican majority resorted to trickery to evade the merger spending limitations imposed by the 2011 Budget Control Act. Limitations that did not, as often reported, cut military spending, but only slowed its growth. But not even slower growth is enough when you have an empire to maintain worldwide. Isn't that the truth? So the House majority slipped into the military spending bill an extra $89 billion for an emergency war fund. Such emergency spending is not addressed in the growth caps placed on the military under the 2011 Budget Control Act. It is a loophole filled by Congress with Fed printed money. Ironically, a good deal of this emergency money will go to President Obama's war on ISIS. Now, a lot of us know, if not all of us, that the government and the CIA and foreign governments, since the 70s, created Al-Qaeda. And last year in 2014, since people became more aware of who and what they are, changed their name to ISIS. It's the same group, just a different name. But now they're a lot more tyrannical, crazy, and radical. Continuing. Even though neither the House nor the Senate has debated, let alone authorized that war. Although House leadership allowed 135 amendments to the defense bill, with many on minor issues like regulations on fire hoses. An effort by a small group of representatives to introduce an amendment to debate the current U.S. war in Iraq and Syria was rejected. I wonder why. Because they continue to receive profits from those wars. Both parties that created the war are still profiting off that. And it grows every day. This so-called war on terror that we've been having since 2001 and the eve of 9/11 has a $1.7 trillion budget. They've spent that much on this so-called war. While squashing debate on ongoing but unauthorized wars, the bill will also push the administration toward new conflicts, despite the president's unwise decision to send hundreds of U.S. military trainers to Ukraine. Shouldn't that raise some more alarming concern? We've been doing this for a while now, sending our leaders to foreign countries to train their troops so that they could supposedly fight for their country and their people. But in some cases, that's not how it goes, because behind closed-door meetings, these trainers are revealing our national defense secrets, our war strategies, our military operations. They train these operations in foreign countries, so that way, when the war does take off, we'll be completely defenseless and overtaken, because everybody knows what our strategy is and how we fight and how we defend ourselves, our capabilities. That's pretty scary if you ask me. Continue back to the article. A move that threatens the current shaky ceasefire. Congress wants even more U.S. involvement in Ukraine's internal affairs. It goes back to what I just spoke on, so that they could trade deals and trade secrets. The military spending bill included $300 million to directly arm the Ukrainian government, even as Ukrainian leaders threatened to again attack the breakaway regions in the east. Does Congress really think that U.S. supplied weapons killing ethnic Russians in eastern Ukraine is a good idea? Of course it's not. We sell our weaponry all over the world, even with federalizing police departments of the United States. That's happening more and more every day. They get military warfare bang on your butt below wholesale prices. It all has to do with the 21st century policing policy that Obama has created, and getting the police departments federalized and then militarized. All this is tied, everything at one point or another ties in with the Jade Helm operation, and it's a big deal. It's becoming more than what people think it is. More evidence proves it's going to go live, and it's a massive operation. Not only does it tie in bringing the UN troops here, but other portions of the operation are starting to come to light. If you read between the lines on these bills that they're trying to pass, and reflect on the Jade Helm in the back of your mind, and try to put these pieces together, reports that came that Jade Helm copycat drills are being carried out through the world, not just here in Canada, over in European countries. They're performing the same style, similar style military operation drill. Do the digging, do the research, awaken your mind, and then also have faith in Jesus Christ and God the Father, that He will protect us and deliver us from evil. But it's up to us to fight for it as well, to fight the tyranny. The Defense Authorization Bill also seeks to send yet more weapons into Iraq, going back to funding that so-called war on terrorism. But this time, the House wants to send weapons directly to the Kurds and government. Wasn't it years ago that the Kurdish army attacked Syria and Russia and created another war? So why do it again? Do the research. To the Kurds in northern Iraq, without approval of the Iraqi government. Although these weapons are supposed to be used to fight ISIS, but yet they're going to the Kurds. We know from far too many prior examples that they often find their way into the hands of the very people we are fighting. Also arming an ethnic group seeking to break away from Baghdad and form a new state is unwise. Is an unwise infringement of the sovereignty of Iraq. It is one thing to endorse the idea of succession in a way to reduce the possibility of violence, but it's quite something else to arm one side and implicitly back its demands. See, the globalists and the United Nations are working hard to divide Iraq into 3 separate regions. And that will bring about Armageddon. And we will see the beast rise, the Antichrist. That is their goal. That is the agenda. It's been talked about for a long time to break Iraq into 3 separate regions. Look up. Do the info. While the neocons keep pushing the lie that the military budget is shrinking under the Obama administration, the opposite is true. As the CATCO Institute pointed out recently, President George W. Bush's average defense budget was $600.1 billion, while during the Obama administration, the average has been $687 billion. This bill is just another example of this unhealthy trend. Next year's military spending plan keeps the U.S. on track towards destruction. What a revitalizing and reveling fact of its economy at home, while provoking new resentment over U.S. interventionism overseas, is a recipe for disaster. Let's hope for either a presidential veto or that one final passage Congress rejects this bill. Let's pray. Let's please pray this doesn't happen, because they went to the Congress on Friday to get approval or veto. Let's pray that it doesn't, because if it does, it's going to be turning out eventually game over for everybody. They're trying to bring back this war so quick. So quickly they're trying to bring us into World War III. I want to thank you for tuning in. You have a blessed and prosperous day. Stay grounded. Stay positive. And stay prepared.